Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, you're rolling solo. How's it going?
It's going great, Steven. How about you?
Can't complain. How was DC?
DC is good. It's hot. We're to, 90 degrees,
Wow.
humidity. You walk outside, you sweat within a minute, but it's summer. I love it. People are out
Yeah.
and about. Um, yeah, it's fun.
Looks like you're doing some film work again. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I did a little. I'm working on a little video for my company. Actually, we just wanted to do a fun little video, so I kind of sent a sneak peek. Hopefully, I didn't do too much spoilers in it, but of what's to come from the video. But yeah, filmed that on Friday and filming again this week, and hopefully have it out here in the next week or two.
Nice, nice. Well, I'll let you take it away with movie reviews.
Sure thing. So I actually saw a few things since our last break, and the first one I want to start with is called Summer of Soul, or When the Revolution Could Not Be Televised. And this is a documentary film that follows the Harlem Cultural Festival in 1969. And the story with the cultural festival, it was a 6 week long festival that was held in Harlem at Mount Morris Park. And it had huge attendance, huge performers. And what's noticeable about this documentary and this festival is that the tapes for this festival were left for 50 years just sitting in a basement or in some kind of closet, and it was one of those things where this was the same year as Woodstock, and this was a big cultural movement, and this festival had huge performers: Stevie Wonder, Nina Simone, The Fifth Dimension, staple singers, Sly and the Family Stone, Gladys Knight, tons of huge artists over the 6 week period. And it was like a big cultural moment that just kind of gotten lost in time and forgotten. So Questlove is actually the director for this film, and they found the footage and they wanted to bring it back, and they wanted to kind of give you it's kind of a slice of life, right? This is the summer of 1969. Again, monumental things happened in 1968. There was a lot of tension in the country, and just to see, especially you'd like this, Stephen, if you haven't seen it yet, all these singers so young, seeing a young Stevie Wonder, seeing a young Gladys Knight.
Yeah.
It's wild just to see them all on stage performing these songs, and it's really good. Definitely highly recommended. It's on Hulu. It's a documentary. There's not much, I guess, in a message as per se of just seeing how this happened, and what could have been if something like this did get published 50 years ago and we got more word about it. But definitely check it out. I highly recommend
What's
it.
that on?
It's on Hulu.
Hulu. Okay.
Yep. And then the next thing I saw was I finished up season of Lupin. I don't know if you watched that show yet,
Mhm.
Stephen. For anyone unfamiliar, it was split into two parts. So part one was earlier this year. They just did part two, and it follows the story of uh, a thief that's kind of getting revenge on a rich person in France that wronged his father, and it's got a lot of that heist theme to it. Uh, Highly recommend. It is again French, so there are subtitles, but it is a move. It is a show. It might be the best show of the year for me so far.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's just really well done. It's something fresh, and I think when you get, as we've said, when you get an international viewpoint, you really get to see kind of a different take and different lifestyle and different culture. So check out Lupin. Yes, again, you'll have to do some reading, but it's well worth it. And then the final thing I saw was the latest Marvel release, Black Widow. And for anyone unfamiliar by now with the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, Black Widow, starring Scarlett Johansson, she actually died in the last in Infinity War, one of the last Avenger movies, um, or the End Game. And this is actually kind of a flashback into Black Widow's time in between Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. And it follows the story of Black Widow's kind of it's I don't want to say it's a down to earth story, but it's more of a localized story. So we get a little bit of her past, how she grew up with this Russian family, that's living in the United States, and they were spies, and then they came back, and then she got separated by her family, got part of this Black Widow program, and she reconnects with her sister. She reconnects with her, her kind of spy family. David Harbour plays the dad. Rachel Weisz plays the mom. And it's lots of action, lots of fun. It's one of those, I'll say it's a filler Marvel movie. Obviously, we know what happens to Black Widow. She's not going to die in the movie because she does the Avenger movies, but it's something to hold us over until the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you're looking for, again, fun Marvel action movie, check it out. It is on Disney Plus Plus, which is like the extra $30 to watch it. But if you're a fan, check it out.
I saw two series actually. One is called Sex Life, and I just randomly was looking for something to watch on Netflix, and it's about this woman who's from Georgia. She moves to New York when she was younger, and her best friend, they are wild, going to clubs, having a lot of sex with different guys, blah blah blah. She finally meets this successful guy, businessman, and they get married, have two kids, and she's the stay-at-home mom, and running the house. She stopped working to take care of the kids, and while her husband worked, and she runs into her ex-boyfriend. That was like the love of her life, but he hurt her so many times. And so she starts journaling about their sex life. And the main thing is that the question that she asks herself is, like she says, she has 85% with her husband. She loves her husband, but their sex is not as good as the sex with this man. So this man, he's back and forth. She's back and forth. The husband is just a mess, but it's actually really good. And it's a lot of sex, I'll say that, but it's really good. And I don't want to give it away, but that's the premise of it. Can she be happy without having the sex she had with this man when she was single? So let's watch that. It's a cliffhanger at the end. I was very disappointed, not at the cliffhanger, but at what she did. And then I watched Atypical. The season 4 final season came out Friday. I binge watched that.
Oh wow!
And it was really, really good. Sad to see it's the final season, but they ended it on a good note. So check that out. It's about the autistic young man and his family, and they have a lot of different things that go on throughout the family and different members. The guy that plays his best friend in the show, he is hilarious, by the way. I think he's hilarious. But both of those on Netflix, so check them out.
I never even heard of Atypical, and they have
really
seasons. That's wild. Yeah.
It's
Well,
really
there's but Netflix.
Yeah.
I feel like every day is a whole new series to come out with. So, Netflix is force feeding us all these shows.
And I typically don't. I try to stay away from series because you feel like you have to watch it all. But they're both of those really good. So
okay, have you? So my wife's do you watch Too Hot to Handle? Are you into those kind of shows? Okay, or The Circle? Have you heard of that one too?
I heard of The Circle. I started watching it. I didn't like it, so I stopped.
Yeah. I don't like any of them, but
guess what, Adam?
Big Brother
is back.
Yeah, we got our lineup yet?
Yeah, it came out. It started last week, and so they had the first nominations were yesterday, and I think later this week they'll have the first person ousted from house. But this season there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, gay, straight, bisexual girl in there. And so, but they're doing it differently. So typically, every man for himself, and they have their little alliances on the side. But this time they're all playing in groups of 4.
Ah, interesting. So all 4 can win at the end?
Well, the winner, the person I guess is competing for that group, he can save the whole group. But it's interesting that some people are starting to create alliances outside of the 4.
Oh, interesting.
It's interesting, yeah. And so the people he nominated, so it was crazy. The guy who won the HOA, his group was safe, and so he had to put up 2 people. And so he does not like guys, I forgot what he calls them, that are real muscular and flamboyant, not flamboyant, but like into themselves. He has meatheads. He calls them meatheads. So he really wanted to go after these two guys. But he talked to one guy, and the guy was actually super cool. Turned out his dad committed suicide, and you just don't know what people are going through,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
just on service. So he decided he couldn't put him up. So then the other guy he wanted to put up won the HOH competition. I mean, the safety competition. So he went around to all the girls. He talked to almost everyone, all the girls, and said, I'm not going to nominate a female first round. I'm not going to do that. I just want the female, whatever.
Okay.
Then he goes around and nominates a female because he thinks she's in a showman's with this guy and he can't stand showmans.
Wow. So this guy is all over the place.
It was weird. It was so weird because I liked him a lot until when he was trying to make his decision. He was pacing the house, going to different rooms, and everybody's like, "What's wrong with this dude? He's taking this job seriously." But yeah, so far so good. So I look forward to seeing where it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, and they can win more money this season. They can win $50,000. Usually it's $500,000. So.
Oh, nice. What so you have your do you have your early pick of who's going to win yet, or
I don't, because
okay.
You're still learning people, and even some people you don't get to know them that much yet. I mean, they did introduce everyone in the first episode, but as they get in the house and interact with each other, yeah. So I'm interested to see. It's just good in the middle when less people and people are starting to backstab and all that. So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah. After 23 seasons, they got the formula down. They know how to keep the audience watching. So
exactly.
Well, that's good.
Anything come down the pipeline?
Not yet. It's been interesting, and it's probably happened to you. But now that things are opening up and it's summertime, it's just like more reasons to go out and less reasons to watch TV. So I haven't even been like paying attention to what's coming down the pipeline. I'm just like, all right, it's the weekend, time to do stuff.
Right, exactly.
So, nothing yet, but I'll be keeping my eye on something for next week for sure.
All right. Well, Adam, as always, thank you for letting us know what to spend our money and time on and what not to, and have a great week.
All right, thanks, you too.
All right, right back after this.